Hello everybody, welcome back to the Q&A class. It's Twintail. Again, I'm going to make a brain game because this is kind of a how to get it out quickly videos. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and recap probably one of the biggest and most hype Bushiroad TCG conferences of all time. So with the intro out of the way, we'll get into it. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in. So, for those who do not know, for the past several years, Bushiroad will hold a live conference of sorts to discuss upcoming TCG releases across their many games. And earlier this week, basically, by the time this comes up, it should be hopefully no more than 48 hours since the fact. But we had our Bushiroad TCG conference for spring 2024. So it details the games of, in the order of Rebirth for You, Weiss Schwarz Blau, Weiss Schwarz, Cardfight Vanguard, and Shadowverse Evolve. So we move over to Rebirth for You first, where they talked about some confirmed releases. We saw the previously confirmed projects of Way of the Pong and Great Man Universe get their release dates. Then they finally announced that they'll be doing a follow-up set with Blue Archive, the anime that'll be airing later this year. And a really surprising announcement that they made was the Love Line Link-like Hasuno Sora Girls High School Idol Club that was really going to Rebirth for You first, which is a creating of Love Livers who are used to this stuff releasing in Weiss Schwarz these days. Then we also had an announcement for Bang Brave Bang Braver, where they brought in one of the mecha designers on board to do like a big interview and all that stuff. And not conclude, but they also announced another, if you calculate correctly, it's like the 8th time that they took something from Weiss Schwarz and transferred it over to Rebirth for You. In this case, it'll be the Idol Master Shiny Colors. So now, as a result, there will now be unironically 3 Idol Master franchises you could play in the game across Cinderella Girls, Leader, the Million Life Anime, and now Shiny Colors. And to wrap up Rebirth, they again went over the upcoming Rebirth for You Choco Rebirth anime. It still has that super deformed style that the Rebirth anime is known for, but this time they kind of redesigned the eyes a bit, and they had a little bit of a teaser just talk about how I think the game's gonna be a little more lighthearted or something like that, going like a little more corny, even more specific than it already was, I suppose. Then now we move over to Weiss Schwarz Blau, the reinterpretation of the Weiss Schwarz card game with simpler mechanics and titles that appeal more to, say, normie Japanese audiences, particularly towards the female crowd. And they didn't announce a whole bunch, they only announced really 3 new things. From what I could tell, there's going to be a beginner deck for the already existing Strawberry Prince male boy idol series. So this is different from a start deck or what they call their trial decks. So I guess it's supposed to be a way to teach players from the very foundations of the game and get things rolling that way. Then they also announced Sanrio as an upcoming new center title for the game. So you're into Hello Kitty and all of those characters, awesome for you. And for those who have followed the Japanese anime music scene for a while, you have probably heard of Honeyworks. There will be a Honeyworks Neo Center title on the way that's going to feature a lot of games associated with the music artist, so that is going to be awesome. Moving from Weiss Schwarz Blau over to its parent game, Weiss Schwarz. And over there, also not a whole lot happening. They're really kind of holding back for a while, I guess, just because unlike a lot of other things that were covered that night, Weiss Schwarz had already done 2 months prior, in the beginning of 2024 a big announcement drop as it already is. So if I can have talk about too much, it's really primarily support for already existing US Star titles. So we have Star Wars, we have Marvel, we have It's the Order of Rebirth. It's time like anniversary side, so the anniversary trait keeps on building. And of course, despite not releasing as a new Star title not that long ago, we have Uma Musume Pretty Derby, beginning of a new era. This should be the upcoming film for the Uma Musume franchise. So four new products for already existing titles, and of course this time they announced absolutely no new restriction changes. I guess it just felt like they've done a ton since when they dropped their restrictions in January, so I felt in these past 2 months nothing major needed to be changed. But it was also a little fortunate that they also didn't say to lift some existing restrictions, but perhaps in the summer we will see that happen. And now we move on to Cardfight Vanguard. This is where things start to really ramp up. So for the upcoming, I believe this is to be the third main booster for the Vines arc of the Overdress, Will-Dress Divines. This current new standard that can start since 2020. They have confirmed a new encounter. This time it's going to be Super Dimensional Robo Dayusha of Dimension Police. So this will be under Bronx Gate. So he's going to join Messiah from a previous release Strike deck set as an encounter. And we have also confirmed some of the actual Dimensional Robots themselves. We have, of course, in the middle here, we have Dimensional Robo Goyusha, then we have Dimensional Robo Dibattles, Dimensional Robo Diliner, Dimensional Robo Dragon, and Dimensional Robo Dilander. So that's going to be exciting, especially for those who really love the Dimension Police and the Dimensional Robo sub-clan from before. Exciting. They also announced that it is again doing Lyrical Monster support for the second booster in the Divines sub saga of Standard. They're going to do a lyrical booster where it's going to support supposedly some legacy ride lines in the nation. So I guess it's apparently this pattern of if they put Lyrical Monasterio in a regular booster, it's kind of meant to support, I guess, the fated one of that nation and debut some new ride lines or something. Then Cardfight Vanguard did get some restriction changes. We see here that Shiranui Oboro of the most recent Shiranui Strike deck set is now choice restricted with the Dragon Empire Overtrigger. I suppose that makes sense. It is kind of disgusting to have Dominate get a second Vanguard attack on you, I suppose. That could get disgusting really quickly. And then we see that with another choice restriction we have here Dragheart Luard of again also the very recent Luard Strike deck set with I believe this Seru Gong is not in English yet as a promo dog. I guess it's because this is a great one. I don't know like the full implications of these restrictions here because I already play Cardfight Vanguard Standard these days, but from what I know, this has ended up, I guess it has ended up being too big of a problem in Cardfight Vanguard Standard, and we see here that Cardfight Vanguard Premium and Cardfight Vanguard V-Premium in Japan have no restrictions, and a Lyrical Monasterio interaction is finally allowed to roam free again. This time it's unrestricting Elvira and what color is your wish Val Chablang. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So that's pretty cool, and it also helps that what's also going to help Standard is across all four of the Strike deck sets of Chrono Jet, Messiah, Shiranui, and Luard in order to minimize unintended interactions as the game builds upon itself. Bushiroad decided to force players of these 4 ride lines to ride into the intended grade 2 unit, or failure to do so means that they're unable to access their grade 3 strike break if they fail to ride and include that specific intended grade 2 for their strike deck. Apparently this is primarily because, again, Shiranui has been causing a problem as a result of using the Shoujo Doji grade 2 to be able to have free units or something. I guess how I remember Shoujo Doji kind of working. So again, these were to really make sure that Shiranui doesn't just run away with the standard format. So I suppose this is because it's going to fix standard. We'll see if English follows up on this when we get around to the English Bushiroad Spring Conference later this year. And in order to do a very, very cheeky transition into Shadowverse Evolve, they confirmed the 3rd collaboration universe for Shadowverse Evolve with none other than Cardfight Vanguard, this time featuring 6 of the 24 permanent clans of Royal Paladin, Kagero, Oracle Think Tank, Shadow Paladin, Pale Moon, and Aqua Force. So this is going to be quite the exciting one for especially a lot of the legacy Cardfight Vanguard players who are more familiar with the very, very beginnings of the game, from the first 2 trial decks of literally Aichi Sendo and Toshiki Kai featuring Blasted Blade and Dragonic Overlord. Only this time, the cover card is going to be Kaelin's Alfred for the Aichi Sendo starter. And we already have confirmed some of the boss units as well as start units that will be featured in Shadowverse Evolve here. So we have, of course, classic Blasted Blade, Dragonic Overlord, as well as Dragonic Overlord at the end. And that means Magus Sea Lord Blaster is joining Blasted Blade, as we already confirmed here. And we also have Goddess of the Full Moon Tsukuyomi. We have both Phantom Blaster Dragon and Phantom Blaster Overlord confirmed. We have Silver Thorn Dragon Tamer Lukier confirmed. And we have Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom confirmed. And we go on from there to confirm that they'll be using a new mechanic called the Start Amulet system. This is basically a way for, if you're playing Cardfight Vanguard as a universe, as in you're committing to just the Cardfight Vanguard cards as your own deck as you would for the previous universes of Uma Musume, of the Idol Master Cinderella Girls. You're building around just the one title. First of all, in the case of you playing around Cardfight Vanguard, you could technically play 1 or more copies of the Start Amulets. And when you start the game, you will actually put it face down on the board for free. And they all do abilities depending on if you control that specific clan, which will be a trait in Shadowverse Evolve, follower on the board to be able to interact with. So we have the example of Wingo Brave, where we engage a player to cemetery to draw 1 card and discard 1 card as long as we control a Royal Paladin follower. And speaking of the clans that go with each of the basic 6 classes, it's not something that they really have done with the other 2 collaboration universes, where they just kind of mix things all over the place and just kind of put things into classes based on how they see fit. This time they're saying that Forest Craft is going to be all of the Aqua Force stuff, all the Swordcraft stuff is going to be Royal Paladin, all the Dragoncraft stuff is going to be Kagura, all the Runecraft stuff is going to be Pale Moon, all the Shadow Paladin stuff is going to be Abysscraft, and all the Oracle Think Tank stuff is going to be Havencraft. And they say here that neutral cards will feature appearances from multiple units featured on the same arc. We'll see what that really means. This is here that there's going to be 6 leader cards and 6 ultimates So they confirmed that for leaders, we're going to get, of course, an alternate arc, Aichi Sengo, an alternate arc, Toshiki Kai, then Misaki Tokura, Rensuzuga Mori, Asuka Narumi, and Leon Soryu. Then for our ultimates, as we mentioned before, we have Majesty Lord Blaster, we have Dragonic Overlord The End, Goddess like a Full Moon Tsukuyomi, Phantom Blaster Overlord, Silver Thorn Dragon Tamer Lukier, and Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. Many people are definitely excited for this. And of course, as with every universe in Shadowverse Evolve, we have to have unique gimmicks. So the Star Amulet, where you will start with that on the board and you're playing Cardfight Vanguard strictly. Then, because you're playing Cardfight Vanguard, you will have access to triggers, which we do not know what they do yet as of the time I make this video. We see that there's a critical trigger icon. Most recommends it does damage or something, because if we move over to looking at the example of Blaster Blade, as an evolve card here, has the single drive keyword, and they also say there's going to be, of course, twin drive keyword, because we have grade 3s in Cardfight Vanguard as a universe. And of course, you have ride mechanic, which is going to involve the use of drive points. They are like carrots in Uma Musume, where we can have up to 10 of these in our Cardfight Vanguard, or in our evolved decks in general. So they also gave a reminder of how you would build based on whether or not you choose to play as Cardfight Vanguard versus playing as one of the basic 6 classes. So in Cardfight Vanguard, you will be able to just simply use all of your Cardfight Vanguard units, but it said something about here that you will only be able to use trigger units that match the base class of your leader. So they have the example of, if you chose Aichi Sendo here, you will only be able to use Royal Paladin triggers and not use, say, Kagero triggers like Embodiment of Spirit Tar. Then, of course, you're just going to play as one of the basic 6 classes, so you're going to say that this Aichi Sengo leader is going to represent me playing Swordcraft. You will just do the normal, I play with only Swordcraft cards from Cardfight Vanguard and mix them with legacy support for Swordcraft and neutrals from both Cardfight Vanguard and previous product alike. So, very fun breakdown there with Cardfight Vanguard getting its own thing. And of course, going back to Star Amulets, if you are playing these in your basic class deck, you will be able to play strictly up to 1 copy of these. And more to be revealed later this week, so that is going to be something. So overall, this has been one of the most hype levels of things. I think they felt they had to do. We see that they're not doing too much. Rebirth gets a fair amount of things. Weiss Schwarz, because they kind of had their spotlight earlier in the year with their little New Year's-esque January event. They felt they did not need to follow up with anything too big. Cardfight Vanguard, they have to bring back some nostalgia hype with the Dayusha encounter, with revamping standard, with some support, what they deem to be necessary restriction changes. They felt that premium and V-premium don't need to be touched at the moment. And then of course we transition from there to the Cardfight Vanguard as the 3rd ever universe in Shadowverse Evolve. I think they're just doing that because I believe all of these have been featured, except for Tsukuyomi. Most of these have been featured already as encounter units in Cardfight Vanguard Standard already. Yes, some of them receive on and off sporadic legacy support, but I think Bushi has kind of went that I guess it's not sustainable in the long run. They kind of want to emphasize the role of the anime featuring completely brand new debuts of original content. They want to focus more on that, so decide that, there's a very good chance that people have kind of quit or started playing Cardfight Vanguard less to play Shadowverse Evolve, why don't we go ahead and take Cardfight Vanguard with a bunch of legacy units that we have little to no reason to support, move them over to Shadowverse Evolve, bring them over to focus more on that. And in Japan it works really well because of the fact that Shadowverse Evolve events are just held separate from the greater Bushiroad, card fights, and World Grand Prix circuits. So that will be very easy to sustain over there in Japan. Very good chance that English will get this as well. I see no reason not to. Wrapping it all up, it does open the floodgate specifically for Shadowverse Evolve to now consider, at minimum, in-house Bushiroad IPs as possible future collaboration universes. So, we're looking forward to see where things really ramp up with all these card games. Rebirth for You celebrating 4 years of no restrictions necessary. I think, especially with the past year of tournaments, that has definitely made a ton of sense. Weiss Schwarz not needing new restriction changes. Though again, those games have felt pretty sane. Cardfight Vanguard was like the only thing that Bushiroad felt like needed some fixing. Nothing needs to be addressed in Shadowverse Evolve, just coming out of the 2024 Japan Championship. So, yep. Before this gets way too long, I would like to go ahead and thank you all for watching this little hastily made, recorded video of us wrapping up and recapping what happened. Again, probably the highest amount of hype generated from these Bushiroad trading card game conferences that they have been doing for years now. So let me know down in the comments what is it that you're looking most forward to from the games of Rebirth for You, Weiss Schwarz, Cardfight Vanguard, and Shadowverse Evolve. We would like to hear what you have to say. And with that, continue to embrace the darkness, and we'll catch you all over in the next video. Hopefully no audio issues this time. Editing with this particular setup is apparently still unfamiliar territory. Thank you for putting up with me, and ta-ta.